Hello everyone around the world. Thank you for watching. Today I'll be talking about swords, including Japanese swords. So, here we go. What is this? This shiny thing. What is it? I'm sure many of you know it. It's a Japanese sword, a katana, a nihonto. When you think of Japan, you think of samurai. When you think of samurai, you think of swords. That's why I'm covering it on this channel. So, what is the purpose of a sword in modern times? You'd be surprised how few people can answer this question. Of course, the purpose of a sword in modern times is not to cut people. About 150 years ago, people did it, but that's no longer the case. So, I'll explain what the purpose of a sword is, how it is used, and in what situations. First, let me explain what a sword is. Japanese swords are called nihonto. A durable blade is formed by combining and forging together multiple steel materials, hard steel with a high carbon content and soft steel with a low carbon content. In Japan, the Zantetsuken sword owned by Gomen Ishikawa, a character in the anime series Lupin III, is famous for being able to cut anything on Earth. There are many fans of nihonto swords outside of Japan as well. Please note, however, that this video discusses the significance and value of swords, rather than their sharpness or craftsmanship. In addition to the Japanese sword, there are also wooden swords made of wood bakuto and bamboo swords made of bamboo shurnai. Bakuto, used instead of a Japanese sword for training purposes. It is also useful for crime prevention and security. Shurnai, it is used as a tool in kendo competitions. Recently, I was invited to the Nippon Budokan, where I had the opportunity to watch a demonstration showcasing a long-standing Japanese sword technique. Today, I'd like to introduce one of these. A demonstration in view is a performance of the styles and techniques learned in training in front of an audience. Please take a look. It's the Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu, one of the 5 styles of Aizu. Because Japanese swords are dangerous, relatively safe wooden swords are used in demonstrations. About Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu. The Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu style, passed down in the Aizu domain, was a secret style, and its existence was not made public for a long time. Many of its masters lost their lives during the Boshin War, and many techniques were lost. The masters and techniques that remained after the Boshin War were even more lost during World War II. The current lineage was passed down from the Aizu domain's chief retainer. Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu was kept secret under a rule that it should not be disclosed to others. However, fearing that Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu would be completely lost, a successor passed it down. It has since been passed down to high-ranking kendo practitioners in Aizu Wakamatsu City, Fukushima Prefecture, and continues to this day. The following are the words of the current master and representative of Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu. Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu is secret and does not tolerate outside interpretation. Those who study it must swear before the gods of heaven and earth that they will follow their teacher without qualms and work diligently without slacking. Students make a pledge to abide by the teachings of the style, never reveal or disclose anything to others, and to keep it strictly secret, not even among parents, children, or siblings. It is also essential to practice repeatedly and to be creative and innovative each time. If a student doesn't have any questions, you will never be able to master the true style. Style is not just form, but a manifestation of the spirit. During practice, students make numerous practice swings with a heavy wooden sword. This makes the joints flexible and increases their range of motion. Even when training is painful and grueling, one must endure without giving up or fleeing, and continue to apply oneself. Do not resist the current, do not become stagnant, and even if you sink deep in a rapids, the time will come when you will float back up, so simply go with the flow until then. It is said that a good attitude is one that does not cling to certain things, but instead responds freely to the opponent's movements, like a tree floating in a river. This is truly a life lesson. There seems to be a misconception that the sword's sole purpose is to cut people, but that is a thing of the past. It is no longer used for that purpose. If you're not born into a good life or suddenly make the wrong choice, you'll quickly be left behind. Fate is always cruel. Inconsiderate people are everywhere, and failure is always just around the corner. Even if you accomplish something and feel happy, it inevitably becomes boring, and the feeling of happiness doesn't last. A life at the mercy of unfulfilled desires can lead to a loss of purpose. The teachings of the Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu, which examines the misery of human life as a philosophical theme and preaches this objectively, can truly be called philosophy. There is something in common with Arthur Schopenhauer, who denied the will but also developed a philosophy of living in the world. Incidentally, the Nippon Budokan, where the demonstration you just saw was held, is a mecca for Budo martial arts in Japan, and is also the venue where world-famous stars such as the Beatles have performed. Japanese swords are now prohibited by law from being carried without permission. In other words, their lethality remains the same as in the past, and they are combat weapons covered by operational procedures. So why not completely ban the possession of particularly dangerous Japanese swords? This answer is a direct explanation for understanding Japan and the purpose of swords today. After the Edo shogunate pacified the warring states period and Japan began to unify and stabilize, the purpose of swords was no longer to cut down criminals, but to prevent and deter crime. Samurai with swords tucked into their belts were a common sight on the streets, like modern-day police officers. The presence of a sword on the waist of a well-dressed samurai must have given people peace of mind. Naturally, only those who were properly trained and qualified were allowed to wear swords. There were dojos all over town where people could practice, but training at the domain school was limited to the elite. At these domain schools, students could learn the swordsmanship that was passed down in that region. Examples include the Aizu Domain School, Nishinkan, and the Tsuruka Domain School, Chidokan, which I have introduced in other videos on my channel. At the Nishinkan, there are many prestigious schools of swordsmanship, some of which have been passed down to the present day. The style that has been passed down to the present day is the Mizoguchi-ha Itto-ryu, one of the 5 Aizu styles that you saw earlier. Summary: the significance of the existence of modern Japanese swords. Combining strength and beauty, they are not only practical for slashing enemies, but also serve as symbols of authority and objects of faith. Now that they are no longer used as weapons, they are treated as art objects and cultural assets. That's all for this video. Goodbye until we meet again. The contents of this video represent solely the personal views of the poster. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like and subscribe. I hope you will watch the next video as well.